This is Kai. She is a young 7-month-old German Shepherd puppy that's being trained for service work. Now she's here because she's having some issues being a little leash reactive, so that's something we're going to want to work on. Her owner has been training her since she was 8 weeks of age, so she has a really nice foundation, but I have to make sure that she understands that whatever he did is going to transfer over to me, as well as the communication channels. The main ones are going to be our markers. That's the word or sound that predicts a reward, which he uses the same ones that I do, yes and free, so that should be pretty simple. Luring, which you can see she's doing really well. She's following the lure. I'm able to get her to go from one position to the next. And then the last one's going to be leash pressure. Once I have that in place, then I'm going to start taking her on walks around the neighborhood. And when I feel pretty confident that she understands what I want, she knows the rules, and we're not having any of those issues as far as her being leash reactive, then I'm going to start taking her to new environments and making them increasingly more difficult as she proves to be successful with the training. And I want to show you guys this entire journey. So as I'm working with her right now, this is what I like to call a flow session. I'm not asking her to do anything, meaning I'm not giving her any commands. I'm not even using the markers right now. I just want to get her to follow the food lure, have some fun, continue building a strong bond, which is always important when we're working with a dog. Come on, baby. We want to make sure that they trust us, because if they trust us and we're consistent, then it becomes much easier to train them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a handful. So I have a handful of treats. This is going to be my supply hand, which the hands can be interchangeable. And I'm just going to keep working with her, doing this little flow session, seeing what positions I can get her to do. So her owner has had her doing spin, sit, down, stand, but he's training her in a different language. And as I mentioned earlier, she's going to be a service dog, so we can't have these issues of her being reactive on leash. And she's very sweet, very nice, friendly dog. She's great with dogs. I haven't had any issues with any of the other dogs. And so far, she's been good with every person that she's met. So the leash reactivity is a common problem. We just have to make sure that whatever's causing this, whether it's fear or frustration, that we can work on those issues. But as I said before, we want to make sure that we develop the communication channels. And so you can see I'm having her move from one position to the next. This is just basic positional exercises where I can have her go from one heel position to the next heel position. While in each position, I can have her do a sit, a down, a stand. Come on, baby. Good girl. Very nice. Helping her out there, resupply, because I want to make sure it's fun and I'm keeping her engaged. I'm not taking a bunch of breaks. I don't want to spend too long having to reach for a treat. So that's why I like to have that one hand filled. We can also work on some little spins, a little bump with the knee. Very good. Take her, bring her into the center position, and I'm going to bump her back over. Good. Nice job. Let's see how she does when I take her to the other side. Good. Come on. Very good. Nice work. So that's really good. Good little simple flow session. I can have her go behind my back. Nice. And these are fun to do. Something that I highly recommend. Just get your dog out and get them moving. I'm giving her a ton of treats for this. It's just supposed to be a fun, engaging way to get them to move around and build some of that trust and that desire to want to work with you. So now let's see how she responds to the leash. She has been trained on leash pressure, so this should be pretty easy, but she's not going to be generalized because she's only been working with her owner. She hasn't worked with me before. This is the first time. Now, she came in yesterday, so I spent all day yesterday just hanging out with her, building a bond, letting her play with the other dogs, letting her get comfortable in the environment before I started doing any sort of training. And that's something I do with every dog, because if we have a dog that comes in for training and that dog is maybe nervous or uncomfortable in the new environment, they're not going to perform as well. And then if we start asking them to do things, they're going to associate the obedience with that feeling of discomfort, and then you're going to have a significantly harder time training them. So with every dog I train, I always make sure they're comfortable in the new environment and we have some sort of relationship that we've developed. So now I'm going to start showing her the leash pressure cues, and I want to see free. If she responds, free is her terminal marker. So here we go. I'm going to lift up. There's a little bit of pressure. Free. Once she sits down, I turn the pressure off. Then I mark and reward. We're going to lift up again. Free. Very nice. Making sure we pause after we mark. Free. Good. That one might have been a little bit early, but that's okay. Come on, baby. And now I'm going to work on the down. I'm going to use the climb bed. Come on, baby. And I want her to be able to go down when I signal with my hand. So this is a technique I like to teach, which her owner has been working with her on this as well. So she's ignoring this. I'm just going to go all the way down. Free. Very good. Excellent work. With leash pressure training, remember the goal is to get the dog to perform the behaviors without the leash getting tight. So right now the leash is getting tight a little bit. Free. Good. But she's starting to figure it out very, very quickly. And this is a really nice short little session for her. Free. Good girl. Excellent. Now I'm going to show her my foot. My foot comes up. Now I apply a little bit of pressure. Free. Excellent. Nice work. Let's bring it back up. Free. Good girl. Very nice. Now I'm going to guide her off. Free. Excellent. Come on, baby. Sniffing the ground. She's trying to get some freebies. Let's guide her back on. Good girl. Very nice. And we're almost out of treats, and that's really enough for this one session. She has a lot. Come on, baby. Free. Good girl. She has a lot more work that we're going to be doing. Very nice. Free. Good girl. So I don't know if you could see in the video, but she sat pretty far away from me. We want her to sit nice and close. Free. So I can mark, and then I'll just move back to get her to come to me to get the reward. That's when we're thinking about reward placement. The dog considers this as well. If I ask my dog to come to me and sit in front of me, and my dog sits far away and I reach and I hand my dog the treat, there's no reason for them to get closer. But if I mark the behavior and I make them come to me to get the reward, they start to realize that and they go, well, I'm not going to sit away very far because he's going to reward close to himself. So I might as well be as close as possible. And that's going to help with some of that positional work. Kai, good girl. Very nice. All done. So very short, simple session. First training session that I've done with her. We're not asking for much. I took the time to build the relationship with her yesterday. Worked on a little bit of luring, good flow session. I haven't done any engagement training work yet where I'm teaching her working with the markers. We'll be doing that next. And we did a little bit of leash pressure work. So now I'm going to let her run around, play with the other dogs, and we'll come back later for another session.